Captain Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of the UES Horizon, watching the massive space station grow larger on the main screen. Nexus Prime was the biggest thing he had ever seen in space. The station was home to 12 different alien races, all part of the Galactic Federation. Ships from across the galaxy came and went like busy insects around a hive. "Captain, we're getting permission to dock at Bay 47, said Commander Alex Stone from his position at the controls. Alex had been with Jake for 3 years now, ever since Earth joined the Federation. He was a good officer, but Jake could see the worry in his eyes. "Take us in slow," Jake said. "Remember, we're just a small peaceful ship from a small peaceful planet." The horizon was not much to look at. It was only 200 meters long, with basic shields and simple weapons. Any alien who saw it would think humans were far behind in technology. That was exactly what Earth wanted them to think. Dr. Lisa Grant walked onto the bridge carrying her data pad. She was the ship's expert on alien behavior and had spent years studying how different species thought and acted. "The Korthik delegation is already making noise about our meeting," she said. "They don't think we deserve a voice in Federation politics." Jake nodded. He had expected this. The Korthik Empire controlled 20 star systems and had one of the strongest militaries in the galaxy. They saw humans as weak newcomers who had gotten lucky to even join the Federation. "What about the Veltar?" Jake asked. "They're more polite, but they think we're primitive," Lisa said. "Their scientists have been laughing about our simple technology. They can't understand how we travel between stars without quantum-fold drives." The truth was, humans had something much better than quantum-fold drives. But that was a secret that only a few people on Earth knew about. As the horizon docked with the station, Jake thought about the real reason for this meeting. For 15 years, Earth had been playing a careful game. They showed the galaxy just enough technology to be useful, but not enough to be seen as a threat. Every human ship that left Earth was built to look weak and outdated. The real human fleet was hidden in deep space in places no alien had ever seen. Ships that could cross the galaxy in hours instead of weeks. Weapons that could destroy entire planets. Defenses that could stop any attack the galaxy could throw at them. But the aliens didn't know any of this. Jake, Lisa, and Alex walked through the station's corridors toward the meeting hall. The station was a wonder of alien engineering, with gravity fields that let different species walk on walls and ceilings if they needed to. The air was kept at a temperature and pressure that worked for most species, though some aliens wore special suits. They passed groups of aliens as they walked. The tall, blue-skinned Veltar with their large eyes and thin bodies. The massive, armor-plated Korthak warriors who stood over 8 feet tall. Dozens of other species, each one looking at the humans with either curiosity or barely hidden contempt. "I hate this place," Alex whispered. "The way they look at us like we're pets that learn to walk upright." "That's exactly what we want them to think," Jake said quietly. "Remember your training." The meeting hall was enormous, with seats arranged in a circle. Each species had their own section, designed for their specific needs. The human section was small and placed near the back, showing their low status in the Federation. General Thrakmer of the Korthak Empire was already speaking when they arrived. He was a massive creature, even by Korthak standards, with thick armor plates covering his body and small red eyes that seemed to burn with constant anger. "The human expansion into the Kepler sector is unacceptable," Thrakmer was saying, his voice like grinding metal. "They claim 3 systems that rightfully belong to stronger species. Humans should be grateful for the systems they already have." Senator Maria Rodriguez, Earth's main representative to the Federation, stood up to respond. She was a skilled diplomat who had spent years learning how to deal with alien politics. "The Kepler systems were uninhabited when we found them," she said calmly. "Federation law clearly states that any species can claim uninhabited systems for colonization." "Federation law," Thrakmer laughed, a sound like rocks falling down a mountain. "Human colonies are weak and defenseless. What happens when a real military force decides to take those systems?" The threat was clear, but Maria kept her voice steady. Earth has always followed Federation law. We trust that other members will do the same. This made several aliens in the hall laugh. The idea that humans could defend their colonies against a real attack seemed funny to them. Zeph single quotes Ren, the chief scientist of the Veltar Consortium, spoke next. His voice was high and musical, like wind chimes in a soft breeze. Perhaps the Korthak general has a point, though he states it roughly. Human technology is quite limited. Your ships use chemical rockets for basic movement. Your weapons are simple projectile devices. How can such primitive tools defend against modern military forces? Jake felt his hands clench into fists, but he kept his face calm. The human ships the aliens had seen did use simple technology because that's what Earth wanted them to see. The real human ships used technology that would make these aliens question everything they thought they knew about physics. Our technology serves our needs, Maria said. We prefer peaceful solutions to military ones. How noble, said Ambassador Krelth of the Nexan Trade Union. But nobility does not stop plasma cannons or quantum torpedoes. Perhaps humans should consider accepting protection from stronger species. For a reasonable fee, of course. More laughter filled the hall. To these aliens, humans were like children playing at being adults. They had been allowed to join the Federation because they controlled some useful trade routes. But no one took them seriously as a real power. Lisa leaned over to Jake and whispered, "They have no idea what they're dealing with, do they?" Jake shook his head slightly. These aliens thought they understood humans based on what they had seen. A few dozen small ships with basic technology. Some mining colonies and trade stations. A military that seemed to exist mainly for show. They had no idea that Earth's real military could destroy every ship in this star system without breaking a sweat. They didn't know about the weapons that could tear holes in space itself, or the shields that existed in other dimensions. They couldn't imagine technology that made their quantum fold drives look like Stone Age tools. After the meeting ended, Jake found himself in one of the station's observation lounges, looking out at the stars. Alex and Lisa joined him, both looking frustrated. "How long do we have to keep this up?" Alex asked. "Listening to them talk about us like we're some backward species that got lucky. As long as it takes," Jake said. "Admiral Carter's orders are clear. We maintain the facade until the situation changes." "But what if they actually attack our colonies?" Lisa asked. "Some of those Korthak ships are heading toward human space. Our simple defenses won't fool them if they actually try to take our systems." Jake thought about the real defenses around human colonies. Weapons platforms that look like asteroids. Ships hidden in pocket dimensions ready to appear instantly if needed. Defense systems that could make attacking fleets simply disappear. "Earth can defend itself," he said quietly. "When the time comes, these aliens are going to learn something important about humans." "What's that?" Alex asked. Jake looked out at the alien ships moving around the station, their crews confident in their technological superiority. He thought about the massive deception Earth had been maintaining for 15 years. How long could they keep pretending to be weak when they were actually the strongest force in the galaxy? "They're going to learn that we've been holding back," Jake said. "And they're not going to like what happens when we stop." As they watched, a Korthak battlecruiser moved past the observation window. It was an impressive ship, bristling with weapons and armor. The crew inside probably thought it was one of the most powerful vessels in the galaxy. Jake knew that a single real human ship could destroy 100 vessels like that without even slowing down. But for now, that knowledge had to remain a secret. The galaxy wasn't ready for the truth about humanity's real capabilities, not yet. 3 weeks after the meeting at Nexus Prime, Senator Maria Rodriguez sat in her office on Luna Base, staring at intelligence reports that made her stomach turn. The holographic display showed Korthak battle groups moving through space, getting closer to human territory with each passing day. Colonel Ryan Brooks knocked on her door and entered without waiting for permission. His face was grim, which meant the news was worse than she thought. "They're not even trying to hide it anymore," Ryan said, placing a data chip on her desk. Korthik fleets are massing near the border systems. Our deep space monitors picked up encrypted communications between General Thrakemer and at least 6 other species. Maria activated the chip. The translation software had worked overtime to decode the alien messages, but the meaning was clear enough. Words like human problem and preemptive action appeared over and over again. How bad is it? Maria asked, though she already suspected the answer. Bad, Ryan said. The Korthik Empire has convinced the Veltar Consortium and 4 smaller species that humans are hiding something dangerous. They think we're secretly building weapons or making alliances that threaten the balance of power in the galaxy. Maria almost laughed at the irony. The aliens were right that humans were hiding something, but they had no idea how big that something really was. If they knew the truth, they wouldn't be planning an attack. They would be running away as fast as their ships could carry them. What about our colonies in the outer systems? Maria asked. The Korthik accidentally destroyed the cargo ship New Hope yesterday, Ryan said. Claimed it was a navigation error, but our analysis shows it was a deliberate attack. They're testing us, seeing how we'll respond. The New Hope had been carrying supplies to the mining colony on Kepler 7. 23 people had died in the attack, including families with children. Maria felt anger burning in her chest, but she forced herself to stay calm. Earth's response had to be carefully planned. Admiral Carter wants to see you, Ryan said. He's in the secure conference room. Maria made her way through Luna Base's corridors, past the areas that visiting aliens were allowed to see. The base looked like a simple research station from the outside with basic facilities and old-fashioned equipment. But hidden beneath the surface were levels that no alien had ever seen, filled with technology that would rewrite their understanding of what was possible. Admiral Ben Carter was waiting in the conference room, along with Dr. Emma Walsh from Project Titan. The room was shielded against all known forms of surveillance, using technology that aliens didn't even know existed. The situation is getting worse, Admiral Carter said without preamble. Our intelligence suggests that multiple species are planning coordinated action against human space. They think we're weak enough to be easily conquered. Dr. Walsh activated a holographic display that showed the real state of human defenses. Hidden weapons platforms surrounded every human colony, powerful enough to destroy entire fleets. Cloaked ships patrolled the borders, invisible to alien sensors. Deep space installations built ships and weapons that made alien technology look like toys. Project Titan is ready, Dr. Walsh said. We can reveal the first level of our real capabilities at any time. The question is whether we should wait for them to attack or show them what they're dealing with before things go too far. Admiral Carter looked tired. He had been keeping Earth secrets for over 20 years, watching aliens treat humans like primitive children while knowing that humanity could conquer the entire galaxy if they chose to. Captain Morrison sent a report from Nexus Prime. The Admiral said, "The aliens are getting bolder. Some of them are openly talking about dividing human territory among themselves after they defeat our pathetic military." Maria shook her head in disbelief. Do they really think we've survived in space for 15 years with nothing but chemical rockets and metal bullets? They see what we want them to see, Dr. Walsh said. Every human ship they've encountered has been built to look primitive. Our colonies appear defenseless. Even our trade goods are designed to seem like products of basic technology. We've been very good at hiding what we really are. Maybe too good, Admiral Carter said. If we keep acting weak, they're going to attack. And when they do, we'll have to reveal at least some of our real capabilities. The room fell silent as everyone considered the implications. Earth had been planning for this moment since first contact with the Galactic Federation. They knew that eventually their deception would have to end. The question was how much to reveal and how quickly. What about the other species in the Federation? Maria asked. The ones that aren't part of this alliance against us? Most of them are staying neutral, Ryan said. They don't want to get involved in what they see as a dispute between the Korthik Empire and a minor species. A few are actually encouraging the attack, thinking it will put humans in their proper place. Dr. Walsh brought up another display showing readiness reports from across human space. Our deep space fleets are fully operational. The dimensional shipyards are producing vessels at maximum capacity. We have enough firepower to sterilize every hostile planet in the galaxy, but we're still following the restraint protocols. Admiral Carter nodded. The restraint protocols exist for good reasons. If we show too much power too quickly, we might cause a galaxy-wide panic. Species might flee to other galaxies or unite against us out of fear. We need to reveal our strength gradually, let them adjust to each new level before showing them more. How gradually? Maria asked. Because according to these reports, we have maybe 2 weeks before the Korthic attack begins. Then we start with Phase 1? Admiral Carter said. One ship with technology about 50 years ahead of what the aliens think we have. Enough to shock them, but not enough to make them completely panic. Dr. Walsh looked concerned. Admiral, Phase 1 technology is still far beyond anything the aliens possess. Even our most basic real ships will seem impossible to them. I know, Admiral Carter said. But if we don't show them something, they're going to attack our colonies. And if we have to defend with full force, the secret will be out anyway. Maria thought about the families living on human colonies, trusting that Earth would protect them. They had no idea that their defense systems could vaporize attacking fleets before they even got close. The colonists thought they were protected by patrol ships with basic weapons and simple shields. There's something else, Ryan said. Our deep space monitors detected unusual energy signatures in the Korthic fleet. They're using some kind of new weapon system, something we haven't seen before. Dr. Walsh pulled up the sensor data. Interesting. It looks like they've developed an enhanced plasma cannon, maybe 30% more powerful than their standard weapons. They probably think this gives them a decisive advantage against our primitive defenses. Admiral Carter almost smiled. They have no idea that our basic shield technology could absorb the full output of their entire fleet without even fluctuating. Should we warn Captain Morrison? Maria asked. His ship is still at Nexus Prime, right in the middle of potential enemy territory. Morrison knows what he's doing, Admiral Carter said. The Horizon might look like a helpless cargo ship, but it has more real firepower than the entire Korthic battle fleet. If things go bad, he can defend himself. What about revealing our hand too early? Dr. Walsh asked. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it, Admiral Carter said. Right now, our priority is preventing a massacre. Either of our colonies or of the aliens who don't understand what they're attacking. Ryan activated his communicator. Admiral, we're getting reports from the border systems. Korthic scouts are probing our defenses, testing response times and weapon ranges. Let them probe, Admiral Carter said. Our fake defenses will respond exactly like the aliens expect. Basic missiles, simple energy weapons, predictable tactics. Let them think they understand our capabilities. Maria felt a chill thinking about what was coming. When this is over, when we've shown them what we really are, everything changes. We can't go back to being the harmless little species that just wants to trade and explore. No, Admiral Carter agreed. When the truth comes out, we become the strongest power in the galaxy whether we want to or not. And with that power comes responsibility. Dr. Walsh began shutting down the displays. I'll prepare the Phase 1 Revelation ship. Captain Nicole. Davis has been training for this mission for 2 years. She knows exactly how much to show and how much to keep hidden. Good, Admiral Carter said. And Emma, make sure the ship looks impressive but not impossible. We want them shocked, not terrified. As the meeting ended, Maria returned to her office to prepare diplomatic responses to the coming crisis. She would have to act surprised when Earth's hidden capabilities were revealed, as if the government was just as shocked as everyone else. The irony wasn't lost on her. In a few days, aliens across the galaxy would be amazed to discover that humans had technology far beyond what they had shown. But even then, they would still have no idea how deep the deception really went, what they would see as impossible human super technology. was actually just the tip of an iceberg so large that it could reshape the fundamental laws of physics. And if things went really wrong, they might have to reveal even more. Captain Nicole Davis stood on the bridge of the UES Defiance, watching the Korthek battle fleet approach the human mining colony on Kepler-7. The alien ships moved in perfect formation, their hulls gleaming with fresh armor plating and new weapon systems. General Thrakmer had brought 12 heavy cruisers and 30 smaller ships to destroy what he thought was a defenseless human outpost. "Captain, the colony is sending distress signals," reported Lieutenant Tom Parker from the communications station. "They're requesting immediate evacuation support." Nicole nodded, but she wasn't worried about the colonists. Hidden defense platforms around Kepler-7 could destroy the attacking fleet in seconds, but those platforms had to stay hidden for now. Instead, Earth was going to reveal something else, something that would shock the galaxy but still keep the biggest secret safe. "Signal the fleet to begin Phase 1 revelation," Nicole said. "It's time to show them what humans can really do." The Defiance had been built specifically for this moment. From the outside, it looked like a human ship, but larger and more advanced than anything the aliens had seen before. The real surprise was what the ship could do. Technology that would make alien scientists question everything they thought they knew about physics. On the surface of Kepler-7, Colony Administrator David Kim was coordinating the evacuation of civilian areas. The colony's visible defenses were activating, launching missiles, and firing energy weapons that looked impressive but were actually just for show. The real defense systems remained hidden, waiting for orders from Earth. "Sir, we're detecting massive energy readings from the Korthek fleet," reported sensor technician Janet Lee. "They're charging their new plasma cannons, the ones intelligence warned us about." David watched the tactical display showing 42 enemy ships closing in on his colony. According to the aliens, this attack should be over in minutes. The Korthek Empire would claim another easy victory against the weak humans, and the galaxy would learn once again not to underestimate superior military force. They had no idea what was about to hit them. In space above the colony, the Korthek fleet spread out to begin their bombardment. General Thrakmer stood on the bridge of his flagship, the crushing fist, watching human ships flee from his approach. A few small patrol vessels were trying to escape, their simple engines leaving obvious thermal trails. "Pathetic," Thrakmer growled to his tactical officer. "Human military doctrine seems to be running away and hoping someone stronger will save them." "Sir, we're detecting a new contact," the sensor operator reported. "Large human vessel approaching from the outer. System, configuration unknown." Thrakmer looked at the display showing a ship unlike any human vessel they had seen before. It was 3 times larger than the biggest human ships on record, with a hull design that seemed to bend light around its edges. Strange energy patterns danced along its surface. "One ship?" Thrakmer laughed. "They send one ship against my entire battle fleet?" Human arrogance knows no bounds. The used Defiance moved toward the Korthek fleet at a speed that shouldn't have been possible. Nicole watched the alien ships scramble to respond, their formations tightening as they prepared to face this unexpected threat. "Captain, they're hailing." "U.S.?" Tom reported. "Put them through," Nicole said. General Thrakmer's voice filled the bridge, heavy with menace and confidence. "Unknown human vessel, you are interfering with a legitimate military action. Withdraw immediately or be destroyed." Nicole activated the ship's external communications. "General Thrakmer, this is Captain Nicole Davis of the UES Defiance. You are attacking a peaceful human colony. Withdraw your forces or face the consequences. You threaten me?" Thrakmer's voice rose to a roar. "With one ship against my entire fleet, human stupidity truly has no limits." "You're about to learn something important about human capabilities," Nicole said calmly. "This is your final warning." The Korthek response was immediate. 42 ships opened fire at once, sending enough plasma energy to vaporize a small moon straight at the Defiance. The combined firepower of the alien fleet lit up space like a newborn star. When the energy barrage cleared, The Defiance was still there, completely undamaged. The ship's shields hadn't even flickered. "Impossible," Thrakmer whispered, staring. At his display, our sensors showed direct hits. How is that ship still intact? Dr. Kevin Torres, monitoring the battle from his hidden facility on Luna Base, smiled as he watched the alien confusion. The Defiance's adaptive shields existed partially in another dimension, making them immune to any weapon that operated in normal space. The aliens might as well have been throwing rocks at a mountain. "Shields holding at 100%, reported the Defiance's tactical officer, Lieutenant Sarah Mitchell. "No damage detected. Return fire," Nicole said. "Show them what human weapons can do." The Defiance's main cannon charged with energy that made space itself ripple. When it fired, the beam didn't just hit its target, it seemed to arrive before. It was fired, striking the Korthik flagship shields before the weapon flash was visible. The crushing fist's shields collapsed instantly. Overloaded by energy patterns they weren't designed to handle. The beam passed through the ship's armor like it was made of paper, disabling every system without harming the crew inside. "My ship is dead," Thrakmer reported in shock to his fleet. "All systems offline. How did they do that?" Nicole opened communications to the entire Korthik fleet. "Your flagship has been disabled using approximately 2% of our weapon's total output. You now have 1 minute to begin withdrawing from human space." The alien fleet hesitated, unsure how to respond. They had just watched their most powerful ship defeated by a single shot from an impossible human weapon. Some of the smaller ships were already turning away, their crews unwilling to face technology they couldn't understand. "All ships, concentrate fire on the human vessel," Thrakmer ordered, his voice carrying over the fleet communications. "We cannot let them escape to report our failure." The remaining 41 ships opened fire again, this time using their most powerful weapons. Quantum torpedoes, antimatter missiles, and focused gravity beams struck the Defiance from every direction. The human ship didn't just absorb the attack, it seemed to feed on it. The Defiance's shields grew brighter as they converted the incoming energy into power for the ship's systems. "Fascinating," Dr. Torres muttered, watching the energy readings from Luna Base. "The aliens are actually making our ship stronger by attacking it." Nicole decided it was time to end this demonstration. "Fire dimensional disruptors at their weapon systems only. Disable, don't destroy." The Defiance's secondary weapons fired, and space itself seemed to twist around the Korthik ships. In seconds, every weapon system in the alien fleet simply stopped working, their energy patterns disrupted by technology that operated outside normal physics. "Our weapons are gone," reported one ship captain. "The targeting systems show nothing wrong, but the cannons won't fire." "Shields are failing across the fleet," another captain added. "Our defensive systems can't adapt to these energy patterns." Nicole opened communications to the entire fleet. "Attention, Korthik forces. Your weapons and shields have been disabled. You are now helpless in space. This demonstrates approximately 5% of current human military capability." The silence that followed was profound. 41 of the galaxy's most advanced warships had been reduced to helpless hulks by a single human vessel, using weapons that seemed to violate the basic laws of physics on Kepler 7. David Kim watched the tactical display in amazement. The entire Korthik battle fleet was now drifting in space, completely powerless. Did we just win a battle without firing a shot from the colony defenses? "The Defiance did all the work," Janet said, staring at her instruments. "Sir, I'm reading energy signatures from that ship that our sensors can't even classify." "What kind of technology are they using?" David smiled, thinking about the real defense systems hidden around the colony. If the Defiance represented 5% of human capability, what did the other 95% look like? In the Korthak fleet, panic was spreading from ship to ship. Crews that had been confident in their technological superiority now faced the reality that they were completely outclassed. "General," one of Thrakmer's officers said quietly, "our intelligence was wrong. Humans aren't primitive. They've been hiding their real technology from us." Thrakmer stared at the human ship. That had destroyed his entire fleet without taking a single point of damage. Signal the retreat. All ships that can move under auxiliary power return to Korthik space immediately. What about our mission? The tactical officer asked. Our mission was based on the assumption that humans were weak, Thrakmer said bitterly. We were wrong, very, very wrong. As the Korthik ships limped away from human space, Nicole composed her report to Admiral Carter. The first phase of revelation had been successful. The galaxy now knew that humans possessed advanced technology, but they still had no idea how advanced. The real human fleet remained hidden in deep space, ships that made the Defiance look primitive by comparison. Weapons that could reshape reality itself. Defenses that existed in multiple dimensions simultaneously. Captain, Tom reported, we're receiving communications from across the galaxy. Every major species wants to know how we developed this technology so quickly. Admiral Grace Chun floated in the command center of the hidden space station Olympus, watching the tactical displays that showed alien fleets gathering across the galaxy. The defeat of the Korthik attack at Kepler 7 had not scared the aliens into backing down. Instead, it had made them desperate and angry. Admiral, we're detecting movement from 7 different species, reported Commander Mike Rogers from the intelligence station. The Veltar Consortium has joined with the Korthik Empire. They're calling it the Galactic Security Alliance. Grace studied the numbers on her screen. Over 3,000 alien warships were moving toward human space, the largest military force in Federation history. The aliens had decided that humans were too dangerous to be allowed to exist, and they were bringing everything they had to finish the job. What's the timeline? Grace asked. 48 hours until the first wave reaches our outer colonies, Mike said. The aliens think they can overwhelm us with sheer numbers before we can deploy more ships like the Defiance. Grace almost felt sorry for them. The aliens had seen one advanced human ship and thought they understood the scope of Earth's capabilities. They had no idea that the Defiance was actually one of humanity's older designs, built with technology that was already 20 years out of date. Signal all deep space fleets, Grace said. It's time for Phase 2 revelation. Bring the real ships out of hiding. Dr. Robert Kim was working in his laboratory on Europa Station when the activation order came through. For 30 years, he had been developing technology that pushed the boundaries of what was possible. His latest projects involved manipulating time and space itself, creating weapons and defenses that existed outside normal reality. Sir, Admiral Chun is requesting immediate deployment of the Temporal Displacement Fleet. His assistant, Dr. Linda Stone, reported. All experimental ships are to be brought online. Robert nodded and began activating systems that had never been used in actual combat. Ships that could exist in multiple time streams simultaneously. Weapons that attack targets in the past before the enemy even knew they were under threat. Defenses that moved entire battle fleets into pocket dimensions where enemy weapons couldn't reach them. Are we sure about this? Linda asked. Once we reveal time manipulation technology, there's no going back. The aliens will know we can rewrite the basic laws of physics. The aliens are coming with 3,000 ships, Robert said. If we don't show them something that makes them give up, they'll keep sending more fleets until we have to reveal everything. On Earth, President Sarah Williams was meeting with the Global Defense Council in a secure facility beneath the Swiss Alps. The room contained representatives from every nation on Earth, all of them aware of humanity's true technological capabilities. The Galactic Security Alliance has issued an ultimatum, reported General Paul Martinez. They demand that Earth surrender all advanced technology and submit to permanent military occupation. They're giving us 12 hours to respond. How are our colonies responding? President Williams asked. The colonists are being evacuated to secure facilities, General Martinez said. But most of them still don't know about our real defenses. They think they're in serious danger. President Williams looked at the strategic display showing the approaching alien fleets. She had hoped this day would never come, but Earth had been preparing for it since first contact. Signal Admiral Chun, authorize full Phase 2 revelation. Show them what human technology can really do. Captain Steve Johnson stood in the briefing room of the military transport ship Aurora, addressing his special operations team. These men and women had trained for missions that seemed impossible, using equipment that alien scientists would consider magic. Targets are the command ships of each alien fleet, Steve said, pointing to the tactical display. We'll be using personal teleportation devices to board enemy vessels, disable their command systems, and extract intelligence about their overall strategy. Sergeant Lisa Murphy raised her hand. Sir, what about alien security? Their ships will have guards and defense systems. Steve smiled and activated a small device on his belt. His body became completely invisible, undetectable by any known sensor technology. Alien security systems can't stop what they can't see, detect, or understand. The team began checking their equipment. Adaptive camouflage that made them invisible to all forms of detection. Weapons that could phase through any armor. Communication devices that worked across dimensional barriers. Each soldier carried technology that was worth more than entire alien star systems. Admiral Grace Chun watched from the command center as her hidden fleets began emerging from their concealment. Ships that had been hiding in pocket dimensions for decades suddenly appeared throughout human space. Vessels so large they dwarfed the biggest alien ships, with hulls that seemed to be made of crystallized starlight. Fleet status report, Grace ordered. Dimensional Fleet 1 is fully deployed, reported Captain Helen Barnes. 50 ships with temporal displacement capability. Time-space manipulation systems are online and ready. Gravitational Fleet 2 is in position, added Commander Rick Davis. 30 ships equipped with stellar engineering technology. We can move stars if necessary. Reality Distortion Fleet 3 is standing by, said Captain Mark Wilson. 20 ships with matter conversion. Weapons. We can turn entire enemy fleets into pure energy. Grace nodded, feeling the weight of the moment. These ships represented the real power of humanity, technology developed in secret over decades of research. The aliens thought they had seen advanced human technology with the Defiance. They were about to learn how wrong they were. The first alien fleets reached the outer edge of human space and immediately detected the massive human ships waiting for them. The alien commanders stared at their sensors in disbelief, trying to understand what they were seeing. Impossible, whispered Admiral Krelanash of the Veltar fleet. These ships are larger than our space stations. How did humans build something like this without us knowing? It doesn't matter how big they are, replied General Frakemore, who had insisted on leading a second attack despite his previous defeat. We have over 800 ships in the first wave alone. We'll overwhelm them with pure firepower. The alien attack began with a bombardment that could have destroyed entire worlds. Thousands of plasma cannons, quantum torpedoes, and antimatter missiles streaked toward the human fleet. The combined firepower was enough to sterilize every planet in a star system. The human ships didn't just absorb the attack. They seemed to exist in a different kind of space entirely. The alien weapons passed through them without making contact, as if the human vessels were made of solid light. Our weapons aren't hitting them, reported one alien captain. It's like they're not really there. Captain Helen Barnes smiled as she watched the confused alien fleet from the bridge of her ship, the Kronos. Phase them back into normal space-time, she ordered. Let's show them what temporal displacement can do. The human ship suddenly became solid just as its main weapon fired. But the weapon didn't travel through space like normal projectiles. It traveled through time, striking the alien flagship 3 seconds before it was fired. The result was devastating. The alien ship's shields were destroyed by a weapon that hadn't been fired yet, creating a paradox that overloaded every system. On board, the massive vessel simply stopped working, its crew unable to understand what had happened to them. Temporal displacement attack successful, Helen reported to Admiral Chun. Enemy flagship disabled. The aliens have no defense against weapons that attacked them in the past. Captain Steve Johnson and his team materialized on the bridge of the alien command ship, their personal teleportation devices bypassing every security system the aliens possessed. The ship's crew stared in shock as humans appeared out of nowhere, completely invisible to their sensors until they chose to be seen. "Greetings," Steve said politely to the alien commander. "We're here to discuss your surrender." The alien bridge erupted in chaos as guards tried to target enemies they couldn't see or detect. Steve's team moved through their defenses like ghosts, disabling weapons and systems with tools that seemed to work by magic dock within minutes. The alien command ship was under human control, its crew unharmed but completely helpless. Steve opened communications to the rest of the alien fleet. "Attention alien forces. Your command ship has been captured by a team of 12 humans. Your weapons cannot hurt us, your shields cannot stop us, and your sensors cannot find us. This represents standard human special operations capability." The panic that spread through the alien fleet was immediate. How could 12 humans capture a ship with a crew of 3,000? How could they become invisible to every form of detection? What kind of technology made such things possible? Admiral Chun decided it was time to end the battle before more aliens died. "All ships demonstrate reality manipulation," she ordered. "Show them what we can really do." The human fleet began to glow with energy that made space itself ripple and bend. Matter conversion weapons turned asteroid fields into pure energy. Gravitational manipulators moved entire moons out of their orbits. Ships began existing in multiple dimensions simultaneously, becoming impossible for alien minds to fully comprehend. President Sarah Williams stood before the emergency session of the Galactic Federation Council, looking out at the faces of representatives from dozens of alien species. Some looked terrified, others angry, and a few seemed ready to flee the galaxy entirely. The defeat of the 3,000-ship alliance had shattered everything the aliens thought they knew about the universe. "Honored delegates," President Williams began, her voice calm and steady, "I stand before you today to address the concerns that have arisen following recent military actions against human space." Ambassador Zephyrin of the Veltar Consortium leaned forward in his seat, his normally musical voice now strained with fear. "President Williams, your species has revealed capabilities that should not exist. Time manipulation, reality alteration, dimensional warfare. How long have you been hiding this from us?" "Since the beginning," President Williams said simply. "From our first contact with the Galactic Federation, Earth has maintained strict protocols regarding the revelation of our technological capabilities." The council chamber erupted in angry voices and fearful whispers. Delegates who had once dismissed humans as primitive newcomers now realized they had been living alongside a species that could destroy them all without effort. Dr. Alan Foster activated the holographic display systems in the chamber, preparing to show the delegates something that would change their understanding of reality itself. As Earth's head of advanced research, he had spent 40 years developing technologies that alien scientists would consider godlike. "What you have witnessed in recent conflicts represents a careful, graduated revelation of human capabilities," Dr. Foster said. "Today, we will show you the full scope of what humanity has achieved." The display showed a three-dimensional map of the galaxy, but it wasn't like any map the aliens had seen before. Stars pulsed with energy readings that showed their internal structure. Planets were surrounded by data indicating their exact composition, down to the atomic level. Space itself seemed to bend and flow around points of incredible power. "This is real-time data from our galaxy-wide monitoring network," Dr. Foster explained. "Every star, every planet, every ship in the galaxy is continuously tracked by systems that exist outside normal space-time." General Thrakmer, who had been allowed to attend despite his recent defeats, stared at the display in growing horror. "You've been watching us, all of us, for how long?" "Since before first contact," Dr. Foster said. "We knew about every species. In the galaxy decades before we revealed ourselves. We studied your cultures, your technologies, your military capabilities. We knew exactly what we were dealing with before we ever sent a diplomatic mission to Nexus Prime." The implications hit the delegates like a physical blow. Every secret military project, every hidden fleet, Every classified research facility had been under human observation for decades. Earth had known everything about them while revealing nothing about itself. Admiral Chris Thompson entered the chamber, his uniform bearing insignia that no alien had ever seen before. As commander of Earth's ultimate defense systems, he had access to weapons that could reshape the galaxy itself. "I represent the Strategic Reality Command," Admiral Thompson said. "Our responsibility is maintaining technologies that operate beyond conventional physics. What you've seen so far is our basic operational capability. Today you'll learn about our strategic reserves." The holographic display changed, showing what appeared to be empty space. Then Dr. Foster activated sensors that could detect things hidden in other dimensions, and the display filled with massive structures that dwarfed entire star systems. "These are our deep space installations," Dr. Foster said. "Manufacturing facilities that exist in pocket universes, research stations that operate in accelerated time, allowing us to complete centuries of work in days, weapon platforms that can generate artificial black holes or manipulate stellar fusion to turn stars into weapons." The silence in the chamber was absolute. Even the bravest delegates sat frozen as they tried to comprehend the scale of what they were seeing. "But this is still not our greatest achievement," Dr. Foster continued. 3 years ago, our scientists completed what we call the Reality Engine, a device that can rewrite the fundamental laws of physics in any chosen area of space. Senator Maria Rodriguez, who had returned from Earth specifically for this revelation, stood up to address the council. "The Reality Engine has been tested exactly once in an empty region of space 1,000 light-years from any inhabited system. We created a zone where gravity worked backwards, where time flowed in reverse, and where matter could exist in 17 different states simultaneously." "Why are you telling us this?" asked Ambassador Krelf, his voice barely a whisper. "Because the galaxy is at a crossroads," President Williams said. "Your military alliance against humanity has failed completely. Some species are preparing to flee to other galaxies, others are discussing surrender. A few are still planning desperate attacks using weapons of mass destruction." Admiral Thompson activated another display, this one showing real-time positions of every military vessel in the galaxy. "We know about the Nexum plan to detonate stars in human systems. We're aware of the Veltar project to create unstable wormholes near Earth. The Korthic Empire's attempt to build quantum antimatter bombs has been under observation since it began." The alien delegates looked at each other in terror, realizing that their most secret plans had been known to humanity all along. "We could stop all of these projects," Admiral Thompson continued. "We could disable every weapon in the galaxy, render every military ship powerless, or simply relocate entire star systems away from potential threats. But we prefer a different solution." President Williams stepped forward, her expression serious, but not threatening. "Earth is prepared to assume the role of galactic protector. We will prevent wars between species, defend against external threats, and gradually share our technologies to uplift the entire galaxy. But this must be done on our terms." "What terms?" asked Zephyrin, though he seemed afraid to hear the answer. "Complete transparency from all Federation members," Maria said. "No more secret military projects, no more hidden weapons research, no more plans for conquest or expansion through force. In exchange, humanity will provide protection and technological advancement." Dr. Foster brought up another display showing plans for joint research facilities. "We're prepared to share selected technologies immediately. Medical advances that will extend lifespans by centuries. Energy systems that will make resource scarcity impossible. Transportation methods that will make crossing the galaxy as simple as traveling between planets." "And if we refuse?" General Thrakemore asked, though his voice carried no real defiance. Admiral Thompson looked at him calmly. "Then you'll discover what happens when humanity stops restraining itself. What you've seen so far, including reality manipulation and time travel, represents approximately 1% of our total capabilities." The number hit the chamber like a thunderbolt. Reality-bending technology that had terrified entire civilizations. was only 1% of human capability. The implications were too vast for most alien minds to fully grasp. What exists in the other 99%? Zephyrin asked, his scientific curiosity overcoming his fear. Dr. Foster smiled, but it was not a reassuring expression. Technologies that would allow us to create new universes, rewrite the history of the galaxy, or grant consciousness to stars themselves. Weapons that could unmake matter at the quantum level or cause entire civilizations to forget they ever existed. Defenses that operate outside the concept of space and time entirely. We have the power to become gods, President Williams said quietly, but we choose to be protectors instead. The question now is whether you'll accept our protection, or force us to use more direct methods of maintaining galactic peace. The vote was unanimous, though some delegates wept as they cast their ballots. Every species in the Federation agreed to place themselves under human protection, accepting Earth's authority in exchange for safety and technological advancement. Captain Jake Morrison, who had been promoted to admiral following the revelations, stood in the observation deck of the newly constructed Unity Station. The facility served as headquarters for the new galactic government, with representatives from every species working together under human oversight. "It's strange," Jake said to Dr. Lisa Grant, who had become Earth's chief alien affairs coordinator. "A few months ago, they thought we were primitive. Now they're afraid we're too powerful." "They're not wrong to be afraid," Lisa said, watching alien and human technicians work together on projects that would have seemed impossible before the revelations. "We really could reshape the galaxy if we wanted to. The question is whether we can handle that responsibility." Through the observation windows, they could see construction beginning on humanity's first publicly revealed megaprojects. Space elevators that reached into other dimensions, factories that converted starlight directly into useful materials, research facilities where alien and human scientists worked to unlock secrets that neither could discover alone. "Do you think we made the right choice?" Jake asked. Revealing so much of what we can do, Lisa considered the question carefully. "We showed them enough to end the threat of galactic war.